Hi guys, Lindsay here with Storybrook Family Farm. So this past week, I've been crazy busy trying to get our house finished. So if you guys didn't catch the last video, there's a whole bunch of drama going on with the septic system. Basically everything, the whole process has to be started over again. It's a huge pain in the ass, to be quite honest with you. And it kind of pushed me past my breaking point. Like I've actually had like several like legitimate meltdowns since the whole, if you haven't seen the last video, just watch the last video. Like it's too much. But so basically, I'm trying to get the house done so that way we can figure out whether we're going to stay here for a little while longer or just sort of be done. Like that's kind of the conclusion that we've come to, that that's pretty much our only real legitimate options at this point, because it's just like, this isn't what our hearts want. It's not what our hearts desire. I mean, I shared with you guys almost 2 years ago about not being happy with where we were living, but we kept trying to essentially give it our best shot, to give it like, really try with it. Plus two, if you try to sell a house before 2 years, then you have to pay a massive amount of taxes on the proceeds of the house. So kind of put us on this bind of, well, let's wait for 2 years to see what happens. We got to get the septic replaced. We got to do all these things. So in our minds, our timeline was, well, we had 2 years to figure out if we were going to be able to love this place or not. And in that time frame, the septic would have been done. 2 years was actually in March. So we've been kind of like, man, summertime would be a great time to sell it, to move away, to just move on, to do something that we actually, our hearts desire and want to do and stuff, which some of you might be like, well, why'd you buy it if you didn't want it? Guys, we were living in a camper with no running water. It was 3 adult-sized humans, 3 small dogs, and a bottle baby goat. Like, you live that way for a year, you get pretty desperate. Like, you're just sort of like, I don't care anymore. I just got to do something. Anything is better than what we were at. That was kind of where we got to. That's how we got here. And then it was one of those things where we were pretty miserable the entire time we've been here, and it's just been one of those things of the only way to get out of this and to do this and to basically get to our highest happiness was to go through the whole project, which has been pretty much a nightmare. It's been nothing but difficulties and hardships, and just, it's been a tremendous amount of growth. Don't get me wrong. Like, I am forever grateful with the amount of growth, but the amount of damage that my body took and mentally that I took and stuff, just trying to do such a difficult task. Like, I love puzzles. I love difficult puzzles. I like working things out in my head and like trying to figure things out and stuff like that, and especially if they're complicated messes. So part of me has really enjoyed the complicated difficulty of this house, of this project, of this property, because then it really got me to stretch and grow my mind and like really do a lot of mental jousting and exercising and things like that. But in all reality, no matter how much my brain has enjoyed the process of this, my heart hasn't been in it. So to me, that's kind of silly to be continuing on. Like, I've watched so many different couples and stuff like that they just stay in relationships that they're like, well, logically I should stay because of money or because of the kids or because of this. And it's like, for me, I've always been like, if your heart's not in it, just go. Like, if Tracy up and decided she didn't love me anymore, wasn't happy with me, I love her enough that I'd be like, go ahead, go find what makes you happy. Go do the things that like spark you up, that light you up, that just fill your cup so full. That's just me. For me, if your heart's not happy, if you're not content, if you're not fully satisfied, then it's not worth doing it anymore. But so anyways, long story short, this past week, I've been pretty much just working my tail off, getting things done here. As you guys can see, I actually painted the porch roof here. I got to figure out something to do with that light. There's no electricity to it anymore. It's a non-functional light. I'm guessing I'll just take it down and try to patch up the hole or something like that. But yeah, so I got the porch roof painted. I ended up having to build a jig to paint the trim in the stairwell upstairs. I had to build like a platform to go on top of the steps, and that way we could put an extension ladder. It was super sketchy, super dangerous. I only got 1 coat of paint done up there. So we actually at some point probably this weekend or maybe during the week, we'll actually do the 2nd coat. But it is extremely hard on my body to do a lot of ladder work. It's very hard on me actually to do steps. So this place is not ideal when there's 11 steps to get up to the front door. It's just, there's so many things that are just not in alignment with who we are and what we want and what we need, that it's one of those things that it's best to just be like, okay, I've accepted it. I've accepted that this is not, no matter how beautiful this view is, it doesn't change the fact that my body can't handle where we're at. So in saying that, got the porch roof painted, did the trim up there. Did the trim in the stairwell. I did more trim painting inside. Basically, I've just been doing a massive amount of trim painting, so it's extremely boring stuff to like try to film. Be like, look at me, I'm painting white on white. Hey, look at me again. White on white. So it's just been very boring. But so today what I've been doing is I've actually been working on pressure washing the deck to get all of the algae and all of the staining off of it. This deck was put on well before we ever bought this place, and it was pretty neglected. There was paint on this part over in here. I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see it, but there's old paint over in here. This is what I've been working on today, is trying to actually scrape this off. So I've been taking turns with the pressure washer, with the pressure washer head thing, and then also swapping to this. We got this pressure washer at a garage sale for $20. Like, it's a Ryobi one. It plugs into the wall and stuff, but we also got it with this like scrubby pad thingy. So I've been alternating between the super high pressure sprayer thing and that, and then also doing it the old-fashioned way with a regular scraper. So I do have one of these little, I don't know if it's a mechanic stool or what it is. When my grandpa passed away, it was at his farm, and I was like, huh, that's pretty cool. And my uncle's like, here, I'll put it in the camper that I'm giving you. You might be able to use this. So I was like, thank God. This thing has come in handy so many times. Like, it is seriously a knee saver. That's how I actually painted the white bottom part of the house, like all of the foundation walls too, because like my knees are shot. Like, I can't handle kneeling. I can't handle doing a bunch of steps. Like, last night, honestly, I was awake for like 3 hours in the middle of the night because of how bad my knees just ached and ached and ached because I did a little bit of ladder work. Like, it's hard. Like, I desperately need to be able to have single story living. So in saying that, we're actually going to go look at a couple properties tomorrow. Fingers crossed that something like will actually work. One place has a house on it, another place is just raw land. So raw land is something that we've actually dabbled with in the past before. So forever ago, back when Tracy and I were newlyweds, my parents were like, hey, if you guys want to put a trailer on our property, you can do that. You know, you guys just have to develop it and yada, yada, yada. So we did that. We started working on that. And then Tracy's job was moving. The whole company was moving to Mexico, or she could move up to Canton, Ohio, which she was working in Carrollton. We lived like half an hour from there. And then if she would have transferred to Canton then, where we were living at, it would have been like close to like an hour and 20-minute drive each way on like rural back roads. Like, it would have been terrible. But so that's how we ended up moving into town, and like a whole bunch of crazy things have transpired. And basically, we've been working on trying to recreate the life that we once had this whole time. Like, just trying to basically get back to, you know, something that's just so much simpler and so much easier to maintain and just so much more forgiving on the knees, that there's not so many freaking steps. So yeah, I feel like as I'm wrapping up all the projects with this house that we have currently, I feel like I'm like finishing a marathon, and I'm actively walking towards the start of the next race, and the next race is a bit of a sprint. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. I know that I'm pretty much done here. Like, as you guys seen in the last video, my whole glitching out of me just being done. Like, that's just kind of where I'm at. So I'm just doing my best to make it as beautiful as possible, to put the last bit of pizzazz into everything, while still being uncertain about the whole septic situation and how things are going to move forward. And, you know, a lot of it, honestly, it depends on what sort of like future living arrangement we decide to do. Like, if we go to get a place that has a house on it, then we're pretty much going to be having to pay for the septic out of our own pocket, with like the proceeds of selling this house. If we were to do something more of a raw land thing, we would end up be going with like a home equity line of credit to buy the land, and then to work on putting a well and a septic, and like, you know, making moves to get it so that way it's somewhat livable, somewhat usable, somewhat functionable and habitable, you know, so then that way we could sell this place. Like, it's very complicated, because it's like there's two distinct different paths that we could go down, but it's like, okay, do we want to hit the easy button and just use literally all of the money, all of the proceeds of this house, to then buy something that, you know, has everything that we need, but still needs kind of cosmetic stuff, or just do it the cheaper, super ultra DIY way, which, as you guys know, like, that's why we bought a fixer-upper, was because we would rather save money, work a little harder and stuff, and then have all of that equity. So I think that's probably more or less where we would actually, like, at this moment, sort of pick to do. So yeah, I guess just stay tuned for the next phase of our journey and stuff, because honestly, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know. Nothing's set in stone. You know, they jokingly say that, you know, man plans and God laughs. Like, anything could happen. Like, just stay tuned. Like, nothing else I can share with you at this point. But yeah, I've got the deck soaked. So I'm going to actually get back to scraping because I've been alternating getting everything wet and then scraping it after it's sat for a little bit, then getting it all wet again, scrubbing it again, and then scraping it again to try to get it more of it off. So I'm okay. Like down over here, there's some like splotches, which you guys probably can't see because the sunlight and stuff, but there's some little pieces of paint that's still there. I'm perfectly fine leaving that. I just don't want it to be like how over in here, like it is like big swaths of paint there. I'd rather it look more like polka dots instead of like big large print. I don't know phrases. It is what it is. But so anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.